I really, really appreciate being invited to your bar or restaurant's friends and family night. The idea that I've made such an impression on you that you feel close enough to me to show me what you've been working on for the last months or years means the world to me. It's all very flattering that anyone thinks anything of my opinion. But it's so awkward when ownership or management, who are often friends of mine, have to open before everything is done. We all know that perfection is an illusion, but are the coasters supposed to be facing that way? Is 2000s pop really what you need at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday? This garnish looks great, but how do I even drink this? So, because I'm a coward, I'll often wait 2 or 3 or 6 months before going to a new spot. This way, the team has time to iron out any kinks. The coasters were a bad idea for that bar top. We hired someone to make day part and space-appropriate playlists, and the garnish was too much, so we're all going to go minimal now. This podcast is going to be dealt with the same way as the opening of a bar. You're here for episode 1, and I appreciate that. We've put months of work into this idea, and the fact that you're taking the time to listen means a lot. Like, a lot. But I also assure you that even with all the time and effort put into making this podcast exist, I know that there will be some tweaks along the way. Maybe I could start by, introducing myself before telling a story about friends and family nights. My name is Josh LIndley. You might know me from Bartender Atlas. It's a worldwide directory of bartenders. You may have heard my previous podcast projects, The Blackbird or The Shaft. This is the newest and new. This podcast is called Branching Out. Branching Out is my attempt to take more of a generalized look at how bartenders learn, what they learn, and who they learn it from. In both The Blackbird and The Shaft, I looked at hyperlocal drinks and hyperlocal drinking cultures, which is fun, but now I want something more open-ended. In Branching Out, I plan on talking to bartenders from all over the world about their mentors and their upbringing in bars and restaurants. In this first episode, I talked with Kapri Robinson from Allegory and Chocolate City's Best in Washington, D.C. Kapri, besides working at one of the bars that shows up on all those lists all the time, runs a competition specifically for Black and brown bartenders. She's been awarded Bartender of the Year by a few different orgs and mags, and she was on Drink Masters on Netflix a few years ago. Besides any of that, if I was running a friends and family night and I wanted to make sure that my concept was presented properly, I would want Kapri as the face behind the bar. At the beginning of our talk, I explain more about the concept of branching out, so pay attention. Think of it as me explaining the menu at my new spot. Here's Kapri Robinson on the first, the initial, the inaugural, the friends and family episode of Branching Out. And we're ready to rip?
Do it.
Kapri, you're the first of these interviews we're doing. I probably could have been telling you about this before we were recording, but the way that I'm organizing this podcast is that I'm going to start by talking to you, and you're going to be point A on this storyline.
Okay.
And like in the email that I sent you, think about who your influences are, whatever, and then whoever you tell me to call next, I'm going to interview them next.
Oh.
And it'll be partially about you, but then it'll also be about who their influences, their mentor, their favorite books, all that. And so the idea is kind of chain everybody together so that at the end of, in 12 episodes or whatever, we'll be like, oh, this all started with Kapri.
Nice. I love this. It's so fun.
Yeah. We thought it was a pretty funny idea. The funniest thing about it is that this week and next week, I'm doing a bunch of start points. Mm-hmm. So you might not be episode 1, you might be episode 4.
Right.
And depending on how we cut it all together. But yeah, we'll get there when we get there. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure you knew how we're going to put this together.
That's so cool. I'm into it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to ask people if it's okay if this weirdo from Toronto starts calling them to do an interview with them.
I know. It should be fine.
All right. Hey, Kapri. So happy that you're on Branching Out, this point A of this one story of this podcast. Rather than me trying to explain a bio that I never asked you to send me, tell me your bio. Why would people want to listen to what Kapri Robinson has to say?
Absolutely. So, Kapri Robinson, I am a bartender at Allegory, which is here in Washington, D.C. Allegory is an award-winning hotel bar that's really awesome, great concept, and it's very fun. We like to dance. I won an award called Bartender of the Year through Spirit Awards through Tales of the Cocktail last year in 2024, and also with Liquor.com in 2023. I am also the founder of Chocolate City's Best, which is a nonprofit for Black Black and brown bartenders worldwide. And what we do is to help their careers grow and kind of put them in the forefront of the industry so others can see the great works that they are doing and give them opportunities that they might not have known that were out there and available. And we have a competition coming up, which is going to be great. I have been in the industry now for 11 going on 12 years. And behind the bar, 10 of those 12. And it's just something that I love to do. I've been, growing and getting to know people like you all. And yes, I think that's most of the things.
Do you find that sometimes, even when you tell someone your bio, they still just function on the presupposed assumptions that they have about you?
Yeah.
So you said it was about 10 years ago you got on bar, and it was 12 years you've been in the industry. How did you come around to putting together Chocolate City's Finest?
So Chocolate City's Best came together because I started seeing opportunities outside of just clocking in and clocking out. I won a cocktail competition called Cocktail Queen, DC's Cocktail Queen, and that was in the year 2017, which rhymes. And I won that, and that was my first opportunity to go to a distillery. I had never been to a distillery before. They took me to Kentucky, and I was like, what? Like, brands fly you out to, like, see things? What is this? And from that win, I got my first, like, TV opportunity, and then people were telling me about things like Camp Run Amok and all these different programs. And then I had already been to Tales of the Cocktail one time, but when I went back again, I was just kind of seeing the space not as diverse as what I see in DC. DC has a very diverse bartending scene. And Black and brown people are behind almost every bar in the city. And so, it was just like, do they know about these things that are happening across the country? Do they go to these conferences and different things like that? And so I was like, I want to be a bridge. I want to open the doors for people like me to be in these spaces, because I want more people that look like me in these spaces. So the year 2018, the next year, 2018, I was like, I'm going to throw a competition. That's the way that I was opened up to all these opportunities and different things. And so maybe that's what I should do also. And so we started our first competition, which it has completely changed from that first time. That first time was like dealer's choice and a people's choice competition and a judge's choice, and the winner gets to go down the Tales of the Cocktail. We found the money to get the person down and all of which was really great. And that was the winner was Danae Jones. She's my best friend now, and that was her first time at Tales. She was like, "Whoa, this is insane!" So that was why we started to do what we do for Chocolate City's Best.
Is there any cities that you visited from doing all these things that has also blown your mind in either a great way, where, every drink you have is great, every bar is set up the way that you think it would be, or have you had times going to different cities and being like, yo, where are all the Black folks?
Both. New Orleans is...
I'm not telling you to like call out cities, but, just how do you react to it,
I was gonna tell you which ones, but yes, both.
You're allowed.
I definitely say that it is always pretty mind blowing the lack of diversity in other cities, and and people would tell me that all the time, right? And why they're so excited to be a part of Chocolate City's Best, because they don't have that community where they are. And I'll be like, yeah, I get it, but like to go and see, I'm like, okay, like yeah, you are one of one. Got it. So I'm happy to be able to create a network where they can come and talk about things they might not be able to talk about with others.
Mm-hmm. Let's go back 12 years ago when you first started working in hospitality. What was the moment that you decided you were going to be in bars, a bartender or bartender adjacent for your actual career?
I mean, as soon as I started, I'm not going to lie. I guess because I tell people all the time, I never really did anything else but industry right out of college, right? I didn't graduate. I dropped out, and then I was a server. And then from server, I went straight into bartending. And from there, I've been having fun with it. I've been loving it. I've been growing. I've been, getting education from it. So I never thought about doing anything quite different from the path, if that makes any sense. So I think it was the moment of me looking over at the Bartenders, and it was a busy like weekend night, and they're just like cracking up, having fun, slinging drinks, you know what I'm saying? And this was a time where DC didn't have a lot of craft drinks, so it was one of the places that you can get really good crafted cocktail, and like throwing fire on tiki drinks and stuff like that. And I'm like, I want to fucking do that. That's what I want to do. I want to throw the party, because I've been a party girl, so I'm like, I want to throw it. I want to do it too. So as soon as I turned 21, I was like, I want to get in there.
This is it. What did you go to school for?
I went to school for major in mathematics, minor in education.
I think both those things relate to making you a good bartender pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, 100%.
The amount of bartenders that I've caught, people who only pick up like 1 or 2 shifts a week, who are elementary school teachers during the week, and are like, it's the same job.
Yeah.
No,
much.
put that down. No, leave her alone.
Hey, don't touch that.
Yeah, hey, don't touch that. But I imagine you're always in charge of cash outs then too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you get far enough into school that now you understand how Excel works and all that too?
No, I was there for like a year, and that year I didn't pay attention. But I do know how Excel works.
Yeah.
Because, that first job, quickly into leadership, so quickly into like having to do like the P&L reports and stuff, different things like that, inventory and all the things. And so I had to learn all those stuffs. And now I have to do it all the time. And I was like, I should have just went to school.
You know what's cool about that is that you described yourself as a party girl like 5 minutes ago. And speaking from experience, a lot of times the party girl is not the person you have doing inventory right away.
That is true. That is true.
You got a lot going on.
Yes.
So, as I was saying, in the lead up to our talk, I asked you for a list of 3, maybe 5 big influences. It could be a person, it could be a book, it could be a blog, it could be a drinks magazine, whatever it is that you think really influence you and who you've become as, US's best bartender, as the organizer of Chocolate City's Best. So let's talk about the first one of those that came to mind for you. Who do you think of when you think of who made you who you are?
Absolutely. I'm going to say it's a woman named Sarah Ruiz. She used to live in the Bay Area in San Francisco. She came to DC to open up Dirty Habit, which I was on that opening team.
Great bar name.
Yeah, Dirty Habit. There's another one I think there was one in San Francisco, and they were like, we're going to open one in DC. It's a great name. And we definitely were the dirtiest in the good way, in the good form, not like very clean bar. But she comes to mind because she was the first time I really thought about cocktails in a creative standpoint, and that was because of her, right? Like for her, yes, know your classic cocktails, but kind of throw them out the window type of thing. And I had never really opened my mind up to something like that. And so it was a challenging space in terms of what does it mean to put flavors together into something cohesive. And she was there to teach me that. And she was just so fun. And we used to get so drunk together. It's just so inspiring constantly, because she was constantly teaching us different techniques, talking about spirits, having us try things. And then she was the reason I ever got a cocktail on the menu for the first time, was because of her. She was like, if you have something you want to create and put it up and it's delicious, let's do it. And I got to put on a couple of cocktails on that menu because she believed in the team and believed in us. I believe she's now in Ecuador, and she just opened her own bar in Ecuador now.
Wow.
But she's super dope. And I've been talking to her I want to get down there to her bar because it looks awesome. I think it's called Big, I think. It looks so like just her, just clean, cool, fun vibe. And she's the person that comes to mind.
It's really great to get that validation from someone that you know and you're learning from when they're like, no, I trust you. Put a drink on the list.
Exactly. It's okay.
Do you remember what that drink was?
No. I think I had something
that's fair.
Like pink peppercorns.
Oh.
Something. I can't remember. Yeah.
You mentioned that Sarah taught you classics, but then taught you to, know them, but then throw them away. What do you mean?
So and definitely now, I definitely think that classic cocktails are like your backbones of cocktails. Like this is your balance. This is how you, like flavor balance or your acids and everything. And for her, it was like, it's like that balance sheet. Like we're going to do this from the taste. You know what I'm saying? Like We want these flavors to come together. And so how do we do that? It doesn't really matter if it's like 3/4, 2 ounces or something like that. It just matters, do these things taste well together? Is this a well-rounded cocktail altogether? And if so, then let's do it.
Yeah, I think a lot of times it is, like you're saying, it's important to know, like, yeah, that's your base, that's your sugar, that's your acid. But also you got to remember, man, grapefruits 75 years ago tasted way different from grapefruits now.
Right. Exactly.
And I think that's something that's pretty cool to have the first person teaching you to make drinks how to do that. Because I know a lot of the people I've worked with is like, no, this is how it is and that's it.
And that's what my first bartending job was, actually at a place right before Dirty Habit. And that's how that was, right? It was very much so classic cocktail driven, and then only their cocktails. And it had to be, a certain way, which makes sense. You want everything to be consistent. But with Sarah, it was kind of like, let's get funky, let's get weird, and let's have a good time with it.
That's great. Who else comes to mind? So Sarah's got you reimagining how you put flavors together.
Yeah.
Who else? What else?
There is a woman actually at the first bar. Her name is Molly Horn. She is one of the people that first taught me how to make drinks. And she's the reason I used to drink way too much green chartreuse. And
yeah, I'm sure she's the only reason.
She made me, I swear. I remember she made this thing. She was like, have you ever had a green chartreuse swizzle? I remember her like eyes being like, oh, have you had this before? And I was like, no, what's that? And we had swizzles on the menu, so we were always talking about different types of swizzles. And she made this drink. I remember being like, oh my God, that's one of the best things I've ever tasted. Of course, it was a long, long time ago. But I mean, green chartreuse, pineapple, some lime, something else there, rum, maybe, I don't know.
Show me the problem.
Yeah, where is the problem?
Yeah.
But I say Molly Horn because also, just like Sarah, just a wealth of knowledge. And there was you could always go to her and ask her something, and she would answer. It would never feel like, why are you asking me this dumb question? It never felt like she was putting me down at any moment in time. And I really appreciated that from her. But her also just watching her work ethic at the time, she definitely overworked herself way too much for this company. But at the same time, without seeing her kind of grind like that, I feel like it made me want to do my best as a bartender, this is why you're working hard. I should work hard too, because you're working hard to make sure I have a better day, so I should also do the same, and hopefully it comes back around. And Molly was just fucking dope, man. And she just, every time she learned something new, she wanted to share it. So I like that about people, some people don't like to share their wealth or their knowledge. They kind of want to keep it to themselves, so they're the only ones that have it. And Molly was not that. She was definitely a different person in that form.
That's, yeah, again, so it sounds like you've had a whole bunch of really supportive people looking out for you. Yeah,
and every time I get this question about, who was your mentors? I used to say none, really, right? Because I didn't really think of them as mentors. It wasn't like they were like, we're going to meet every week and do this. It was just that they were great leaders at the time. And so now when I look back at it, it's just like, in a form that is a form of mentorship, just being a great leader and around. And so that was that. Yeah. I love those two very much so. Yeah. It's also hard for me because I also want to say that my leaders were people of color, and I don't have that, So I have people that I look up to now, especially now. I look up to so many people, and I always have, but I never really had one that was kind of taking me along. Right. And I think in the next 10 years that'll change too, because right now I am working with a lot of people that I look up to who are sharing so much with me that I feel like in 10 years, it's going to be like, okay, that person has mentored me in this part of my career.
Mm-hmm. The Molly specifically sounds like she did a really good job of demonstrating rather than having to sit down and have a meeting. How do you feel about the job? How are you, how are your hours? How's your sleep? Instead of having that discussion, just kind of role modeled without having to sit and talk about it. It's just like, this is how I do it. Take from it what you need, right?
Exactly. Which was great. I feel like people don't understand how much role modeling is such a big part of leadership. You can't just talk and not do the things that you've been talking about. Like to see your leader doing what they're asking you to do, it always feels good. Or doing above and beyond. You're like, oh, I guess I can do that too. I'm also that person that's like, well, let me do that too. Like, I want to get in there.
Do you feel like at some point, you were saying that Molly was working way too much and way too hard. Do you feel like that pops into your brain? Like it's not just inspirational as in aspirational, but inspirational as in I don't want to do that.
100%. And I would tell
Yeah.
her too. I'd be like, Molly, girl, do not come in here. Don't call. Don't answer the phone. Don't do this. Like, I don't know why, but all my life I've been like, I overwork all the time, but I try to tell myself, I'm not going to answer the phone when I'm off. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to look at the group chat when it's my day off. Of course I still do, but it is, I only work 4 days a week for a reason, because I think at least 3 days without being behind the bar, without having to answer other people's things, is very important for the mental space, because overworking yourself can make you create resentment towards the establishment, towards the people you're around. And it started off as a fun time. So like, at what point, do you start to hate it? You don't want to do that. So overworking is not something I would ever try to get into. And once I feel myself, get out.
Yeah, I feel like that's it too, is recognizing what you're capable of might not look like what someone else is capable of.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Who else you got in your back pocket? What other people? What other books? What you got?
So the next person, his name is Ben Alt. Actually, I'm gonna do a combo: Ben Alt and Ben Long. The Bens, they were AGM and GM of a bar that I used to work at right before the pandemic called Reliable Tavern. And this place, till this day, I say this all the time. I was just hanging out with one of them people yesterday. That was the best bar team I've ever been a part of. Allegory's team definitely comes very, very close, but Reliable Tavern team, when I sat down, I got to that bar the first time and I was like, are you all hiring? And they were like, yeah, you know what? Come by on Monday at this time. I said, okay. First thing that Ben Long said to me was, what is your why? That was my first question. And I was like, why? Why do I want to do this? It made me really think about, why do I want to bartend? Why do I want to work here? Why do I want to create hospitality experiences for people? Like why do, and from there, he's like, this bar is all about the why, and we're about solutions. And that's exactly what the team was. And we had like educational classes every Thursday. Like, it was just so ingrained in growing and being better and being our best. And not a pretentious way at all. Like, it was a very kind of dive-esque space with pool tables where we cut our own ice. We did really great cocktails. And they inspire me so much because I've never seen such solution-oriented people, right? You think you have a problem? Okay, present the problem, but present it with a solution, right? I used to know so many teams where it's just like, you're just complaining and nothing's getting done. We're complaining. No one's offering any advice on what we can do better. And now we're just going to keep complaining for the years that we're working here about the same thing.
Yeah. The ice well has been leaking for 7 months.
Oh, okay. Not with the bins. It was always, okay, yeah. You think we can do it better this way? Does anybody have any, objections to this? No, let's do it. And we would try it out. If it worked, it stayed. If it didn't, we'll go back to the way we were doing it. And so that created such a good morale in the team together. And then also, they were also other people that were giving knowledge away. They wanted everybody to know how everything worked in the space. How they go about inventory, how they go about buying certain things, how they talk, the talks that they have with the owners. It was just communication running in this bar. And I just loved that so much. And it was inspiration of how to manage a bar. And I was like, I want people to feel this. Like, people don't get to work in spaces that have great communication ever. And both of them, Ben Long and Ben Alt, prided themselves on great communication and just being straightforward and quick. We're not going to spend a lot of time on no problems. We try to spend time on drinking and having fun. What's the problem?
Yeah.
Let's get it done. And let's get back to drinking and having fun.
It also sounds, I think, the idea of what is your why. Do you use that when you're interviewing? You were saying that you're down a bar back right now. When you have people coming in to apply for jobs, do you go in with the what is your why?
I have before. I don't do it all the time. But it is something that when I own a space, it will definitely be my question for sure. Because I think that, people are going to be like, oh, I don't know, I just need a part-time, I'm just here for this. And this is kind of like, I need some people that are going to buy into what's going on here, And I think that also Deke does most of the hiring at Allegory. So I don't get to do as many interviews. So yes.
Sure. So we've got two Bens, we've got a Sarah, we got a Molly. Who else is sticking out in your history?
Let's see. We got two Bens, we have Sarah, we have Molly. Those are my people. I want to say right now, right now, if I could talk about people that are recent to me,
Yeah.
wise, Tiffany Barrier. Tiffany Barrier is more of a, I can call her at any time. You know, we don't even live in the same city. We really, because we've just been in the same circles, that's why we started to get closer. But she's been a woman that has helped me to see myself as a strong Black woman that I am. And then to watch her be a strong Black woman and just killing the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like the brands that reach out to her, the type of content that she puts out, the type of education. She's constantly doing education on Black history and Black and brown history and spirits. And people want her to do that all over the world. And that's just like so great to look at and inspired to be like. And so I just, when I'm like kind of stuck in a thought process or stuck in, should I even do this? Is this even worth it? I call her and she wants me to call her too, right? So that's also a good feeling when someone's kind of like, my phone is on ring when it's you. So please call me, like use my number. And she is one of those people. I need to call her actually probably today. And I could just bounce anything off of. And also if I'm just feeling overwhelmed with the world and life, I can also call her for that too. Not to like dump, but just kind of just get some breath of fresh air. Talking to her.
It's nice to know like you got someone in your corner, right?
Yes, exactly. And so every time I see her, my eyes light up. Like I love that woman so, so much. And I love seeing what she does all the time. And I think, you know, she's always like, you do so much more than I do. And I'm like, do I? I don't know about that. But Tiffany Barrier, a goddess that walks among us, I completely love her so, so, so much. Yeah.
Truly. What do you think, as like a broad question, what do you think the importance of mentorship is?
Well, for me, the importance is to, one, show someone the way. Bring somebody up with you. You know, I think that it still happens. There's so many times where people just want a solo success, right? Like, fuck everyone else. I'm better than everyone else. I'm climbing this ladder by myself. But like, honestly, mentorship is there for people to bring people with you, you know, like, and create, it creates community. It creates confidence, right? We can't talk about how the industry is, there's a lack of education since 2020, right? There's a lack of education, I think almost worldwide a little bit, in the industry field, but we can't complain about that and not, you know, want to give industry our education out to people. So I just think that the importance is bringing people up with you and also to help our hospitality scene like grow constantly.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe there's a bunch of us who were bartending before 2020 and keep bartending now? Do you feel like there might be a bunch of people who are like, yeah, they know things, they just aren't the best to communicate it to people? Oh, and then sometime, like, you know, yeah.
Bartenders being great communicators? Hilarious. It's not it is not as a general bartender thing. It's not really our strong suits. Like we think we're good, but it's like, I think a lot of times we just, I don't know what it is. And I think also it's like communication is not just like, what am I trying to say? The communication for like mentorship has to be in a way that you want someone to learn, right? We're good at communicating in terms of like, this needs to get done, this, you know, figuring that shit out. But like when you want someone to learn, that communication looks different. And I don't think a lot of people have that.
Yeah. Is there anyone that you're bringing up right now that you've been working with, or people that the same way that you can call Tiffany whenever, and obviously Tiffany can call you whenever, do you have someone that maybe you're working on a similar sort of relationship with?
I was asked to be someone's mentor a while ago, and I was like, what? I'm still so new in the game. Her name is Mimi. I love her so much, Mimi Evans. And, you know, I don't know if I don't know what being a mentor really looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that just being available? You know, is there a goal? But every time she calls, I pick up. Every time she has an idea, I'm listening. Or at least I try to, at least, you know, whenever I have the time. And anytime I can call her too. But she is one person that I love to see how she gets to her bag, you know, and she's like more of a mobile bartender. So she does lots of different like bigger events by herself, and she's been killing it. Like her clientele has been growing, and I recommend her all the time to other people. So I would definitely say her. I don't know. I guess anybody. I answer the phone. I really do. I answer the phone. People bounce ideas off of me all the time. But if I could say anybody specifically, it probably would be.
This is something I think about. Chris Elford said this a few years ago. He and I were talking. He was like, yeah, mentoring is like dating, where both of you need to know that it's happening.
Yeah, that part. But for real, I tell people that all the time. I'm like, one, if you want to mentor, you want to be a mentee, you have to do the reaching out, right? You have to talk to this person. And if that's the case, also, like, ask them if they could do that in that capacity, not just, I mean, of course you can call people and ask questions, but like, if you want this person to be the one guiding you in some form or fashion, you need to ask that. Or people are going to be confused about what's going on here.
Yeah. Okay, Kapri, we've talked about a whole bunch of people that influence you.
Yes.
If I was going to call any of these people, who should I call?
I think it should be Sarah. I think Sarah.
You think I should call Sarah?
Talk to.
Yeah.
And if not her, Tiffany Barrier.
Yeah. Amazing. If I was going to call Sarah.
Yes.
What do you want to ask Sarah that maybe you never have that I can get away with because I'm a stranger?
I would ask her, well, I guess it's more of a recent question, is if she feels that her dream for her career in the industry is coming to life right now.
Yeah. That's a big question.
It is a big question.
Cool for a stranger to come on and ask you as well. Yeah.
You can blame it on me. You can blame it on me. It's fine.
Yeah. If I was going to call up Tiffany, what do you think I should ask Tiffany?
Ooh. I would like to ask Tiffany what is one of her favorite historical stories that she speaks about to people. Favorite historical education moments that she's had.
Yeah. That's again that's a very Tiffany question too.
Yeah, you know?
I feel like she's got that one locked and loaded. She's ready for it.
I don't think I've ever asked her. I don't think I've ever heard anyone ask her. So I would like to hear that for sure.
I will give you all the credit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're coming towards the end of a podcast interview, which is the part where I say, hey, Kapri, plug what you've got going on. How do people reach out to you?
All right.
If someone wants to say, hey, can you be my mentor? How do they do that?
Absolutely. So you can reach me on Instagram for sure. That's at Kapri.possible, like Kim Possible, but Kapri Possible. And then right now I am working on Chalk City's Best Future Giants cocktail competition. Our applications are open. I don't know when this comes out, so I don't know if it'll be happening by that time, but that is happening next year in March 2026, of course. And I'm just so excited because we've been on a break from this competition and we're bringing it back after 3 years gone. And the things I have in store for people are going to be so amazing. And we have a new look. I'm just so excited. It's been a brainchild of mine, and I've been kind of beating myself up about not having it. And so bringing it back, that's going to be great. Outside of that, if you're in Washington, D.C., come to Allegory. Come see me. Yeah. You know, I'm there Wednesday through Saturday, 4 days only. And it's a great time.
That's very responsible of you.
Yes.
Contrary to some of the photos and videos I've seen of you at Allegory, it sounds responsible.
I love it. Yeah, I love a responsibility in there, for sure.
Yeah, it's fun. It's responsible fun.
Yes.
Amazing. Kapri, thank you so much.
Thank you. This was fun.
Pretty good, right? For the first try? A big thanks again to Kapri for taking the time to talk about what she loves about working in bars and who made her love it. If you're looking for her, try at Kapri Possible on Instagram or pop by Allegory in Washington, D.C., if D.C. still exists by the time you hear this. Just to get the idea firmly planted in your ears and brains, in the next episode, I will be talking with Sarah Ruiz of Big Bar in Quito, Ecuador. As you heard, Kapri loved working and drinking with Sarah when they were both at Dirty Habit in D.C., so I can't wait to hear what Sarah has to say now that she's thousands of kilometers south. If you made it this far into the show, you must hear something that you like. Please confirm that like by clicking like, and also subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're using. Also, please keep up on all things Bartender Atlas by following us on Instagram, and if you are one of us, a bartender that is, sign up, get yourself on the site. It's a great way to let the internet know where you're working and what kind of stuff you're into. All of that info is at bartenderatlas.com. Branching Out is built by me, Josh LIndley from Bartender Atlas, and my pals here at Axxn Pact Studios in Toronto. Theme music was cut together by Aaron, White Guy Chair Dancing Verdonk. Thanks for listening. Talk soon. All right, I'm going to let you go, and you can keep recovering from your hangover.
Oh yeah, I'm about to knock out. It's only like 5 o'clock. I'm about to go to sleep. It's gonna be so good. Have a wonderful day, y'all.
Right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks again so much, Kapri.
Of course. See ya.
Okay, see ya.